Hello everyone, this is Mr. K, and today we're going to go over coterminal angles. Now whenever you're dealing with angles in math class, it's going to be different than the angles you're going to deal with in science class. So just to kind of give you a little heads up, that whenever you're in a class like physics, typically your 0 degrees is going to start wherever north would be, and then as your angle increases, you're going to go clockwise around. And so 360 degrees would go around that way. If you're in math class, typically 0 degrees is going to start to the right. And then in math class, as your angle increases, you're going to go around counterclockwise. So please just keep that in mind whenever if you're in two different classes, science class and math class. Just know that where your angle starts and the direction that you go in will matter for the different classes. So coterminal angles, what does that mean? Well, for every single angle that we can make, there's always the starting side. Now, because this is math class, your starting side is going to be at the 0 degrees, so this will always be your initial side. And then the second side, the second part of the angle, is going to be where the angle ends, and that's going to be called your terminal side. I can spell. So this would be the terminal side and your initial side. And then you use that to come up with the measurement of your angle. So what does coterminal mean? Coterminal means that you want to have the same initial side and you want to have the same terminal side, but the angle measured could be different. Now there's a number of different ways you can do that. You can just go around in circles a bunch of times and then end up in the same spot, or you can go in the other direction. I'll show you both ways of finding those angles. So let's say that this angle here is 140 degrees. If I draw that out, let's say this is my 140 degree angle. This would be my initial side, this will be my terminal side. So if this is 140 degrees, what I could do is I could go all the way around the circle and then end up back at the same spot. So all the way around the circle, you should know, is 360 degrees. I can then add to that an additional 140 degrees, and that should get me back into the same terminal side. So a coterminal angle would be 140 degrees plus 360 degrees, which equals 500 degrees. Now another way that you can find the coterminal angle is to go in the opposite direction. So let's say I had same thing, we'll go with 140 degrees, somewhere out there. So if this angle is 140 degrees, what I could do is I can instead go backwards in the negative direction. So whenever you start going clockwise in math, that's going to be a negative angle. And so if I know that there's 360 degrees in a circle, what I could do to find that angle is I could do 140 degrees minus 360 degrees, and that would equal negative 220 degrees. So whether my angle is 500 degrees, 140 degrees, or negative 220 degrees, all three of those angle measures still end in the same exact spot here. And so really how you can break down coterminal angles is that you're just constantly adding or subtracting 360 degrees. Every time you add a 360 degrees or subtract a 360 degrees, you're just going around in a circle again and you're still ending up in the same exact spot. So if I asked for 5 different coterminal angles, you can just start with one, like your 140 degrees, add 360 degrees, add another 360 degrees, add another 360 degrees, and all of those values would be considered coterminal angles. So that is how you can find coterminal angles.